Hello, it's me, Clinton, and this is the Words of Mine podcast. I'm in a different location today. I think today is gonna be my last day doing this location stuff. I don't know if you can hear me because there's a lot of noise going on, and I think I'm shouting. I don't know. We'll see. Today I want to talk about a very serious topic, which is why is this my life? Why I the way I came up with this topic was I was thinking of the way my life has gone so far. It's not been really depressing or very exciting. It's a very simple life. I don't think my life is grandiose in any way. I'm not a very wealthy person and I'm not also really poor. And the way I wrote on my notes is I'm not a tech bro. I did not start a company for myself, but at the same time, I'm not a kid in a war torn area, and I'm not suffering from anything drastic, if that makes sense. I have to look at my notes a lot in this episode, but how come this is the version of my life? How come? Because I feel, but I believe we don't control the way our lives turn out. There's a lot of factors that shapes. There's a lot of people running by, but there's a lot of factors that shapes how our lives turn out, and we are not in control most of the time. Like people, the way on my notes here, I said people who grew up in very poor countries or people who grew up in very poor families, like you have to actively think outside of your norm to, in my opinion, grow past that. I'm not rich, but I don't starve. I can buy food for myself. I have shelter. I want things and I can get what I want. Or if I can't afford it at the moment, I can save and purchase it later on in at a later time. I'm not someone I'm and you as well, if you're watching this video, if you really wanted it, you could save for it. I know it doesn't come to us, or maybe you're watching it and you can get it at any time. What they dream of is what we take for granted, and I wondered, are they things I take for granted? For our health, if you're watching this video, a majority of people who might be watching this video have really good health. You're not suffering from a debilitating illness. You're reasonably healthy. Um, Whatever challenges you're facing, you can fix it in a way. Question mark. So yeah, I feel why our lives turn out, or why we have this current life, is out of our control most of the time, and we all think that we can control the way our life turn out, but I don't think we can, because if life throws a curveball at you, like it was not your decision to face that upheaval. Does that make sense? Imagine your life as a different one, not the one we're experiencing right now. Not my life that I'm experiencing right now. That I'm at the beach filming an episode, and a guy walked behind me, ran behind me before I started, before I started talking. But or you laying in your bed or sitting in your chair, doing whatever you're doing, watching this video. I that guy really tripped. That guy really destroyed my train of thoughts, because I saw him. He because you can't see what I'm looking at, but there's a road in front of me, and I saw him go past, and I thought he was just going to run on the road, but he he came behind. He was behind me, and I was like, oh my god! But whatever, we'll move. We move. I feel like this episode's gonna be bad. I am already here. This episode is going out no matter what. Oh yeah, that's why. I think my hair looks bad. I think my hair looks bad. I think my hair looks. Yeah, it's pressed. Yeah, it looks bad. But I'm wearing the glasses today. I think we can have everything we want. Um, I think our problems that we face feels big to us, but when you zoom out and like watch the problem or think of like issues you've had, like I remember as a kid I used to stress a lot about exams and like passing my courses or um being really smart or blah 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 because I was like really dumb, and now I'm like not the smartest, but like zooming out of that situation now, it's the problem was not as big as I thought it was. To me it was big, and I'm not like pushing down that that like situation and saying it's like a bad situation. It's not good or bad. I think when you're experiencing something for the first time, how it affects you is very, it differs from person to person. Some people don't really care about the academic career, and some people care a lot about their academic career. Some people don't really care about the clothes they wear, and some people care a lot about what they wear. Some people don't care about football. Like I don't care about football, but some people truly care about it. And in the past, I would say I would like think that, oh, why does this adult care about this sport so much? Because at the end of the day, they're not paying your bills. It's none of you, in my opinion, it's none of their business because they're making their money, and whatever happens happens. I don't know. I feel why our lives, why this is my life or why that is your life is really out of our control, and maybe there's something outside there. I believe in God, and I'm gonna do there's an episode coming like in the next 2 months called "The Art of Religion." I think that's the name of the episode. I think that's what the episode is gonna be titled. But I believe in God, and I think what my ultimate decision in my belief in God is I use God as a crutch for, or religion as a crutch for my life, like for when I have hard times and when I have good times, for something to like look onto and not only have myself to like look onto, that there's something bigger than me out there. And that's why I use religion for. I don't use religion for any other reason. I don't use religion to put people down. I use religion to soothe myself. It's a very necessary crutch. But if there's a God out there, if there's something that made us that's out there, it is the only thing that had control over our lives. We don't have control over our lives. We never chose to be born, or and we never choose to have the life we have. I know you can work for a life that you deem is worthy, but I think thinking of like, okay, for me at least, like I would think an ideal life for me would be really famous, have money, like people listen to my thoughts, people listen to this podcast, people watch the videos I release. I have like a team of people, and then I only think of the good parts. But with that type of life, you're opening yourself up to like, now I'm opening myself up to scrutiny, but like then you're opening yourself up to scrutiny to not only people who like people who know you or people who watch you, but people who despise you because of what you do. And yeah, I think we should think of like the two ends of the spectrum of whatever our dream is. If your dream is to have a kid, even, I know having a kid seems like a wonderful thing, but what if you are one of the people who releases a very unfavorable human? Because I don't think anybody's good or bad. I think unfavorable situations happen, and what if you're one of the people who creates those humans and you never knew? Um, why is this my life? I really don't know. Um, I don't hate my life anymore. I used to really dread my life until I had this epiphany. And I'm not saying I'm not gonna come on this podcast and tell you I hate this situation or I don't like the situation, but life as a whole is very precarious, and the way we experience it is very different for very different people. And like I said on this podcast multiple times, you can have the same experience with somebody and you both have different perspective of that experience, and it's not for us to like judge or like talk about somebody else's experience because we don't know, like you don't know, like I don't know how somebody else like felt when I said hello to them or when I did not say hello to them or when I felt nervous to say hello because a lot was going through my head, and I don't know how my facial expressions would make that person feel about themselves. We don't know how someone experienced life or like what happened before you met that person or the morning of you meeting that person. So why is this our lives? I really don't know. Back to my life. I said I was poor. I don't have a lot of money. And I have there's something on my notes called variety. For my reality, I have a variety of choices. I can choose to get brown shoes instead of black shoes. Um, I can choose to wear glasses or not to wear glasses because I really don't need these glasses. And this was what I was talking about last week when I said I forgot to add something to my outfit. But I can choose to wear glasses or not to wear glasses. I can choose to buy croissants or make a full meal. I can choose to go out to eat or stay in and like make my own food. I can choose to I can choose a lot of things. I can't choose every single thing, but I have variety on a lot of stuff. And there are people on the planet who don't have variety on a lot of stuff. They only have one option for certain things. I was thinking of a situation I experienced once, not in person, but through the screen, and somebody else was like filming it. And these people were less fortunate, and they were being given something, and the woman who was given this gift or whatever to this person said, "This is all you can have." Like, and what she was doing was great. She does more than me. I don't give people because I don't have a lot, but she was given to somebody. But the way she gave to that person, I when I saw the video, I did not like the video because it was like very disgusting. But now thinking of this topic, that person did not have a choice. What if they had a different chance? Like, I think somebody's walking down here, but like, what if they had a chance to like experience something different? Another person's not walking down here, but yeah, I think the fact that we, you, me, I think the person is working down here, but the fact that we, you, me, have like experiences that we can choose or not to choose is very essential. Okay, blessed are the hearts that blend, for they shall not break. And that's by Albert Camus for The Fall, In the Fall, the book. I've not read the book. I was working on this episode and I asked ChatGPT to, because when I use ChatGPT, I'm going to tell you, but I asked ChatGPT to give me quotes for this episode. And yeah, I think I always thought black people, and this sounds really bad, but I always thought black people. Oh, he's black, so don't worry. The person who's walking by is black. But I always thought black people were the most oppressed people on the planet in America. I'm talking about black Americans right now. And I always thought they had the hardest time in the world because of like what happened in their past. And yes, that's like really difficult and that's like a really hard time. But I thought of how creative and how great they are now because they are not experiencing it as much anymore, or they are not experiencing what their grandparents or like great people hundreds of years ago experienced. And there are people in other parts of the world who experience the most horrible things, and because of the way their situation pans out, they can't create art. I don't know. I don't know. I thought that thought was fully fleshed out, but I think even if you're having bad times, you can create good art. And I think even if the black people in America and like people in Gaza right now are facing hard times, I think they can still create good art because I saw a video from the girl who lives in Gaza on my TikTok, and the video was really creative. And I don't know why this is my life. I don't know why that's your life. We never had a chance, and there's a very high chance that our lives could have been somebody else's lives, and we could have been living someone else's life. I hope that makes sense. Um, I hope this. I'm not trying to say I have this fully fledged out. I might come back to this topic again in the future, but maybe name it a different topic. Um, but yeah, just think of how your life would have been if it was like a different person's life, or yeah, think of how your life would have been if it was a different person's life, and think of it from like both angles, like extra wealthy or extra poor, or imagine like you don't have an addiction. Hopefully, whoever is listening to this doesn't have an addiction, but I don't have any addiction to any extreme addiction to anything. I don't depend on any substance to keep me going. I, for the most part, have the most beautiful experience as a human being. I don't experience a lot of hardships. Um, I kind of do, but when I say hardships, I'm comparing my hardships to people who truly, in my opinion, who are really living hard lives. But yeah, I don't know. Fashion prediction. I predict brown is going to be a very big color for autumn. I know I've said this before, but I didn't have any fashion predictions this week, so I had to say that. And the book I read this week was called Ninth Kites. Um, that was the book I read this week, and the TikTok theme of this year week. I really want to speak about this. Those people on the internet, these are boys, by the way. They're men. Stop calling them boys. They're men, and they post looks maxing videos. I feel the pursuit of looks. I was gonna make a podcast episode called "The Pursuit of Looks," but I'm not doing that. But I feel the pursuit of looks is it's weird because they all want to look like one type of person, and that's Jordan, whatever his last name is, and like Shakiro. They're like these set models. It's like four people. These everybody on the internet wants to look like, and I think having diversity in looks, either build beauty or handsomeness is really essential. I don't think everybody should look like one archetype of of people. Even like a year ago, I followed this black guy that like did it so well that he had very Eurocentric features, and I don't know if he did any invasive surgery, but yeah, you're beautiful. Everybody's beautiful. Some more than others, because you're better looking than me. I look like a fish out of water, quite literally. Um, yeah, I think that's all I want to say this week. I need to fix my TikTok. I started blocking them. But yeah, I'll speak to you next week. Bye.